So now we come to the part of the course we talk about the gear. Now, a lot of people will probably be thinking, hasn't Rich done this back to front? Shouldn't we do the gear first and then talk about the other stuff? And I posit that I haven't. I've done this very, very deliberately because I'm trying to break a persistent paradigm. And that is that I need stuff. I need to have a box full of helpful little gadgets to help me prevail in a crisis or an emergency. Now, what we've gone through on the course today is we've extrapolated that box concept and put it into you. Now, I coined the phrase, survival is a decision. It titles this course in the subtitle. And it's because that's fundamentally my experience with it. It has been my journey with it. It has been my researched findings and outcomes. And it has, in every quarter, proven to be the heavy lifter. This stuff, which we're going to talk about now, is icing on the cake. We can get by without it. Let me make sure you're clear why I have that point of view. Now, as an SAS soldier, I was trained to essentially go through a prisoner of war environment, to be taken hostage, to be taken prisoner on the battlefield because of the way we operate, or in my previous career operated. Yeah? So we're behind enemy lines. The odds are already against us. There's a high probability that we'd be captured at some point. Our survival training, as a consequence, was rigorous in making sure we had skills to resist interrogation, to escape and evade, to live off the land, and to do it all naked. Naked. Why? Because one of the first things we experience when we get captured is to have everything that we're wearing and all of our equipment immediately taken from us. That's part of breaking down the psychology of the soldier. We take away the things that identify that person in their own psychology. My uniform gets taken away. I'm exposed in a public forum. I feel vulnerable. I feel embarrassed. I feel weaker than I really actually am. And that's where the mindset kicks in. Now, this is important because we're going to talk more about this in terms of attachment issues. But if I am reliant upon things external, the external accoutrements to define me, then I'm incredibly vulnerable as soon as those things are removed from me. So this is what I call thinking outside of the box, literally. The inherited paradigm that instructors like me received, particularly within the military framework, was simply to have a kit taken off the shelf full of goodies that was big enough, small enough to be able to be put in a pant pocket or a shirt pocket, belt order or vest, and that was my survival layer. It was my backup layer for when things got really bad. I got separated from my team, an aircraft went down and I was a sole survivor or with a small group of survivors, whatever the scenario, it was our survival layer in planning. Yeah? So every Special Forces soldier was trained rigorously to use the contents of those equipment items. At the same time, the entire journey of Special Forces, as we've said from the very first lecture in this course, was about equipping the mind and the heart to prevail, to make that key decision that I'm going to be there at the end. I'm going to survive this. Now, please, as we move into looking at the fancy stuff, don't ever lose sight of that. Because as soon as you see this stuff being central to your survival prognosis, and it is removed, taken, made unavailable, not there, guess what happens? We have a collapse. We have an emotional funnel. And most people, in my observations and experience, do not come out of it. I've seen people on training activities sit down at a campfire and require watering and feeding because they're completely psychologically unstable and have collapsed in their own pity party, created by the simple fact that they were out of their depth. That's a choice. That's a decision. To be out of your depth is a decision. You simply shift it to everything I need is in here. Everything I need to be resilient is in here. As soon as you make that key shift, you are now thinking outside of the box. When we engage things like imagination and creativity and lateral thinking, those things now provide everything I need out there. It will come to me. I will draw it, I will attract it, I will bring it to me. If I need a cooking pot, I will find one. I will have skill sets here, and we cover this on the primitive survival skills course for that reason. It comes from this exact paradigm. Start with nothing, build up your resource base. But anything I need will be brought to me. Whether I make it, fashion it, find it, scavenge it, it will come to me. Have unwavering belief in that. And there is your decision to survive. And there you will be thinking outside of the proverbial box, the survival tin.